Hey Israel, I'm glad I finally got a chance to get you something back on this. It's a pretty good sized project. I just kind of wanted to run over it. Looks like we got I got the main unit and the main house up on deck right here. And I just kind of imported all your drawings, which were pretty helpful. Looks like we had about a 36 by 36. So that is what I started with. We can tweak out the dimensions uh, as we work with this floor system. The floor system on it with the 12-foot lid, we've got a lot more stairs than a normal house would have, and that's not a problem, but we've got to get it to fit. I think we had 21 or 22 rises on this right here. So just taking a look into that particular area. Let me get my mouse organized here. Here we go. So I don't know if this is going to be exactly what you want to do in there, and that's fine. Let's go ahead and let's ballpark some stuff. Basically, this is going to take this many treads, no matter how we look at it. And when you have over a 10-foot lift, they want to have at least one pause. They like to have a landing. So I went ahead and just put a couple landings in it, and then we can review it from that point. But we might be able to do a simple up, hit a landing and turn and go the other way, which is a single landing. So I'm not locked on the stairs. I'm just saying we need to address the stairs because they're more than an 8-foot or 9-foot rise. I just kind of tossed in all the doors and windows as you had. Kind of we'll get to this right here, what we want to do for the height. I think I have 48 by 36 for the most part all the way through here. Bedrooms, I'll pretty much always throw 48 by 48 and meet the egress. Anyways, that just kind of takes care of that. Let's pop it up a floor and go into that. And I'm going to go pretty fast, but you guys can rewind it and go back over this. The YouTubes usually are a little bit more labor intensive for me. And basically, what I wanted to do is show you the dollhouse here. We've got these two nested bathrooms in there, and that's no problem. But in order to do that, I typically start out with a 5-foot by 8-foot for a standard bath. If we go any less than that, we're going to start reducing this. The vanity is about all you can squeeze down. And I've got a 30 inch is usually about what I like to go to. But if we need to make it small, we can go to a 24-inch vanity. We can get this thing reduced down. But by using that 5 by 8 here and a 5 by 8 here, I establish these room sizes. Consequently, kind of pushes this master bedroom around and establishes this wall right here. So basically, then I like to get about at least a 42-inch area here. Minimum I think we need is 36. I like to get 42. So this right here kicked our bedrooms and stuff over. So we're not locked in on any of this. I wasn't sure. Looks like you had a couple pet doors here. I noticed one here and somewhere else, and we'll get to that. My big deal is let's work on the square foot budget, which you have in there. And then we'll work on this rake wall and we'll see if this is really what you want to do in there. This particular vault is started all the way to at the back of the house. And I'm thinking because it's going to be so tall that if we were flat on some of these back rooms, both with this one and with the, let's go ahead and put it in the 3D, the glass house, and show you. I think on this one, for instance, right here, this vault, let's see if I can, you can kind of see the upper ceiling from, boy, and I don't think it shows up on my, on the recording, but either way, this right here is a ceiling, and it's based off of I believe we have an 8-foot wall in the back because we had 12 foot down below with the 1-foot floor joist. It gets me 13. I didn't go 9 foot back here. I could, but I didn't because I thought we could start the truss there and come over horizontally like this and then start our parallel or our scissor from here, from the 8-foot wall on the inside of this. In other words, in here, if we didn't have the ceiling up here, I would bring this ceiling down. I would come in to the bedroom wall and I would start the vault right here. What that's going to do is that's going to shoot it up here and we won't have such a high ceiling. We can reduce a bit of that. And maybe I can take and do that better with the cut through on this. Let's grab this here. So that is the master. So let's see. I want to cut through like this. That's right through the middle of the home upstairs. So this is kind of what I was getting at. So if we were to take and bring this truss in horizontally, instead of trying to bring the vault from back here on this wall, I would try to either put the 412 pitch in there from right here. I would make this one match the outside roof pitch right there. So that way, this would be your roof envelope. Darn it. Oh, I'm sorry that it didn't come in where I wanted it to. So I can start this truss, this inside slope anywhere I want. A regular truss needs 11 1/4 back here. So if I were trying to keep the truss cost down, I would probably take and drop this area right here. Let's see, where's my little bubble? Okay. I would take this area right here and instead of having a 2 foot, which is what you would need if you're going to try to slope it all the way up, I would go to 11 1/4, drop this whole heel down, and you could still maybe drop this up a little bit higher. But by doing that, let me take and show you. Excuse me. If we go to the roof plan right here, I'm going to take this roof and I'm going to change it from a 2 foot heel down to 11 1/4 heel. I think I had like 412 with the 2 foot heel. Let's go 11 1/4. And what that's going to do is it's going to change this view for us. It should drop it down. See how that dropped down? The drawing now. Excuse me. I'm going to have to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh my. Okay. So basically by doing that, you're going to change your truss cost. It's going to get cheaper. It's going to be easy to deliver. Come over flat for whatever distance you dictate. We're still going to bear right on just the exterior wall here and the front wall. But by dropping that outside shielding in, the truss is framed to the original area. I drop this ceiling down, and you and I can, by discussing it, we can tell the truss plant where to put this ceiling line in here. Because right now, I'll turn this off so the trusses are not visible for us. Okay, so in other words, we get to tell them what we want to do here. I have a pretty good idea what will work there. The depth, if you're spanning over 20 feet, typically you need to have at least 18 inches of cord separation depth in this area here. So if we drop this to 11 1/4, save the buck. By the time we get out here and come up, that gives enough structure on this truss to help pitch it out here. I'd probably want to at least keep this area out here 2 foot. Let's see if I can get it to measure for us. From here to here is what I'm wanting to get, at least a 2 foot. It's kind of funky to try to measure in this particular method. I'd have to come down here. Let's see. I measure to the end. But so that could possibly go 24. So and that's how much we'd have. And then that's the amount of area we'd need to fill for windows up on the front. So there's just a lot of stuff that we need to go through on it. But let me take and buzz through the rest of this real quick. I'll go ahead and take the main house. We'll fly through it real quick. I'll do it with the glass house. I think that might help see what's going on. It's a pretty tall ceiling in here, but before we determine what we want to do on the side wing windows, I want to kind of get our envelope. And a lot of times with you guys that are building, I have to really work on working on the envelope, because if I can bring this roof down and we don't have to go that high, we can drop these windows and start this ceiling will come out here and come up, and it'll reduce the height of these window walls, which we really don't want the gargantuous big look. But if we have to make that truss work with the parallel cord from here to there, if it was sloping all the way without the flat box in the bottom, creating the portion of the truss that makes it function better is more difficult. So we just need to find out exactly what we're wanting in that front deal. So let me take and turn this back into the regular 3D, and then that's the section. We can close that. And let's go into the 3D here. We'll just go to a regular close this. I'll just fly around this tall owner's unit, because once we establish that inside ceiling plane, then we can know what we have window wise for real estate to throw a window into. So I just threw a bunch of glass up there so you guys could check it out. We had some higher windows in this 12-foot area down below. And again, that's kind of why I like to throw this 3D in there, because with the glass, not the clay, we want to go glass. Okay. That'll help us see what's going on with these bedrooms down below here. And maybe it's possible, heck, I wouldn't see anything wrong with possibly shifting this and have your 12-foot maybe in here, and have this go up maybe 9 or 10, and have your floor, and have, if you wanted to two-stage this upper floor, but if you just wanted to do the full thing like that, we have a 12-foot climb right here. I just kind of wanted to show you how I've got the stairs. So we have options. I just kind of want to know really what we're stuck to on this, and we're kind of going to take this look, I think, and carry it over to the rentals, as we're going to want them to kind of mimic and not look so odd on the lot. So anyways, let's go ahead and pop out of here. I'm going to go back to the rentals. This is what we've got here. So I've got the rentals based off of what we had here. Looks like about a 20, I think I had 24 by 24 for some reason, 21 to there. Maybe that's why I had more, because I've got the 24 wide. But either way, it says 420 for the rental, and I went 24 by 24. I can squeeze it down. I just want to know exactly what we've got. Absolutely, we've got room to do it. So I need to know kind of what we want to have in these bathrooms. If this is mechanical room over here, if this, we've got a crawl space, so we can probably put the pressure tanks down below. And with the big lot like that, I don't know if you're gonna have a pump house, and if you're gonna try to maybe pump. I don't think that'd be I'm not sure what the best way to do that is. Whether you're gonna have a pump house and you're gonna supply all these units with one main deal. So that we'll have to get to that when we get there. So here's the 3D for the camera for the rentals. It's going to have, instead of a monolithic slab, we've got the 40-inch stem wall, 5 blocks tall. And again, we've got a lot of work to do on these. These are rough drafts, but it still takes a tremendous amount of time to get to this point. And I want to at least throw something at you guys that's 3D, and as well as I get you the paper copy to play with, so we can start working on what you like and don't like. On this one, we have the same issue where I think I would bring the wall, I would bring all of these back rooms forward flat, and then I would start the vault on the front of right where this wall is. And that doesn't mean you couldn't do something in the master. If you want to put a tray in there or something like that, you could. But if we're trying to bang the buck out on this thing, we'd be better at coming off flat and then sloping up from here at the 412 and not having a 2-foot heel. If we want to take and do a full slope up, we're likely going to have a high heel to start with, and then you can maintain that vault through the bedrooms and the bathrooms on each end. So we'll have to just figure out what we do want, what we need, because we can bring the roof down 1 foot by moving the vault from the back wall to the front wall. And that's just, that's not even talking to the truss guys, but I bet you that's kind of what they'll come up with. So let's go ahead and see if the main house, we can shut that down. Let's go back to here. I wanted to do a dollhouse of this real quick. So this is the one you sent, the little pictures. Here's kind of what I'd thrown in there. We've got the little living room. And again, I'm pretty wide. I think we'd have to, I think I'm 24 and you want to be a little bit less. I didn't play on the kitchen too much because I wasn't sure what we want to do. I threw a regular bar type island in here. If we're going to try to go from this wall to the kitchen and make that area work, we're gonna have to play with it. I've got not really an apartment fridge, but a smaller size refrigerator. I like to put at least a 9-inch prep area on one side, but from the door to the fridge in this area here, it doesn't leave us a bunch. I thought maybe we could put a corner cabinet and then turn the kitchen this way and put the sink in front of the window, but we are running out of that, and I want to know really how efficiency we want to do on this. Let me pop this roof up on the inside and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so this is kind of what we would have. We've got a pretty tall wall on the inside, and let's go again. We're going to be able to drop this 1 foot if we can bring the other rooms forward flat. Let's see if I had one. Here you go. Yeah, this one here will be our, if we came forward flat to this right here wall and then start our pitch, we can drop the roof because we won't have this big area necessary back here on the heel. Right now we've got this at a 412 pitch, and I can go with 312 pitch. Let me throw this in there for you. I think I can do it without killing my program. Here's what a 3 will look like. A 312 pitch is cool and they look nice, but we'll want to look and see what you're going to end up doing with your roofing. If you use a 3-tab shingle, I believe there's some stipulations with the warranty on a less than 412. So I usually start out at 412, and if we want to go less than that, we can certainly do that. Excuse me, let me let my puppy out of here. There you go. So, I think that gets us pretty well rolling on this. I mean, we got a bunch to review on it, but I wanted to at least chat with you guys and review the project that we've got. Let's take a look and go into possibly the, here, this one. I want to go to the main house, go to the plot plan, and kind of look at what I had brought this in and drawn on top of it. So the let's see where the layout is at. Okay. Oh no, I got it. Let's just go ahead and bring it right up again. So we'll go, the recent one's going to be our layout. Okay, let's take a really quick look at this, and then I'll get this jiffied off in the mail to you. Okay. So basically, I've got 2 different plans in here. I've got your main, the owner's unit, which would be the main house, and then the rental units. I should probably change that. I think you had used the verbiage as owners or as the main house, and I typically try to follow your verbiage. A lot of times I used to do these type of projects. I think Byler did a bunch, and he would always design the owner's unit and then the rental units. So that's kind of since I've done a bunch of those before, that's what I went off with. So we've got your plot. I brought that in. You've got unit 4. And then based off of what you had, I dropped these little polygon blocks in here. We will move these around. I just got them close to where you had them on that sketch. So as we dial in the program, we will zero this in as well. This is just what your elevations are on your owners or the main unit. And this one right here would be a nice one so that when we start looking at it, we can start chalking up what we want for windows. It's a little misleading because we've got the 12-foot lid downstairs. We probably don't want 12-foot tall windows, so we've got to think about that. And then this front window wall, of course, is going to all be depending on where we ultimately put that final inside ceiling bolt. So this is your first floor doors and windows placed in pretty roughly. I threw a dollhouse in and a generic door schedule. I think I tagged in the windows later. Here's your second floor door schedule or floor units. You got your floor plan, shows how these got some interior dimensions. I've got twin beds in these 2 bedrooms right here. I've got a queen on this right here, just for so you guys can check it for space planning. Here is your owner's unit sections, and then I've got the windows are broke down. So this would be when we want to go start detailing in what we want for windows. This might be a good place that we could start grabbing this sheet and talk about just windows. And then once we get the windows on this page done, it'll populate this page accordingly. So when you and I are batting the stuff back and around trying to dial it in, here's just a basic hip shot for what we've got for the estimated owners or the main unit. And I've separated the garage, and then the green is of course the living area. Then we go right into the rental units, and I know it's generic. I just pitched it. You guys probably have not even close to them type of windows, but I like to throw them in there, and you guys can correct them. So we're not locked in on anything, and I'm trying to keep it black and white and simple. Here's the rental unit with the basic interior dimensions at a 24-24. And this is one we're going to have to reduce it down. And let's see. That's going to be the couple sections. And this would be the ceiling that we would drop down. And we don't have to drop this diagonal line all the way to here, to the 8-foot line, but I would drop it a little bit, at least, at least a foot. And this would drop a foot too. I mean, if you dropped it all the way 2 feet, you could come up here, but if you drop this a foot and this a foot, then you'd have a jump up here. It would come in and go up a foot. It still would look nice and give you a higher window wall, but just not that high. This looks like it's going through the windows. And then there's just some details. So basically that's kind of what we've got going on. We've got the so you got the rentals. Then you got the main house. This is the main house in 3D. But I put some, there's some 3D architectural drawings that they allow you to kind of cruise through. And it allows you to view these plans at your own speed and your own 3D and your own glass house without me doing the guiding on it. So anyways, hey guys, sorry it took a while. It's a pretty big project. It's way doable. I hope this works for you guys. Have a great night. Have a great Christmas. After the first year, I expect to be pretty busy. So I'm just trying to get this stuff on your guys' table. And hopefully we can get a deposit and get this thing going. Hope you have a great night. Talk to you later.